Okay, in this problem, we're given some information. The doctor measures the height, X, and the head circumference, Y, of 8 children. And this is the data that we have to work with. And we're told what the coefficient, the correlation coefficient is, 0.942, and the least squares regression line, which is this. And we're asked to answer the coefficient of determination. Now, one way to get the coefficient of determination, r squared, is we could go back to StatCrunch, or we can use the fact that it is r squared. And since correlation coefficient is 0.942, we can take that number and square it to get r squared. Just to practice a little bit with StatCrunch, let's open this up in StatCrunch. And we want to calculate regression, simple linear, using our x variable and y variable, and just compute. Okay, so this is what we have to work with. And we're asked to determine r squared. And notice r squared is listed here for us. Let's see if I can highlight that. This is the r squared. And those other two facts that they gave us up here in the information, that's also located here. That's the correlation coefficient, 0.942. And then that regression model is located here. Y equals 9.65 plus the slope, 0.286 times x. Okay? And we just write it like this. Okay, so we've got all that information now to work with. So we know what the r squared value is. Now, the next question is interpret that. What does that mean? Okay, so what does it mean about the coefficient? What does that actually mean? So what we're going to do, let me see if I can type this out for us. The coefficient of determination, in other words, r squared, measures the proportion of total variation in the response variable that is explained by the least squares regression line. Okay, so as we look at this particular problem here, the coefficient of determination we found was this 87.7%. So this is our statement. Every time this is going to be our statement. The proportion of total variation in the response variable. So the response variable, when we look at height and head circumference, is the head circumference. That's the value of y that you're going to determine by using your least squares regression model. So this is the way it's going to be stated every time. Whatever the correlation coefficient squared, or in other words, the coefficient of determination, that is the proportion in percent of total variation of the response variable that's explained by the least squares regression line. I hope this helps.